because it's the silly, stupid, fascinating, weird, wonderful. They're my people, and more often than not, they're the geeky people as well.
But this real sense that what you do as you emerge out of Middle Earth in your real life is you hope, because Tolkien's so good at capturing that.
I mentioned Betamax. For anybody older, that's the old version of a video cassette. A video cassette is an old version of a DVD. A DVD is not set with the cloud.
And I said, I'm not happy, I've got bits wrong here. And she said, yeah, but that's all part of the learning process. That's all part of that makes it unique to you, that those kind of imperfections within it.
Well, I removed you instantly. Hello and good evening. Welcome to Faith and Geekery. Pack up your bag, grab your apple, polish your shoes. It is a brand new school year and we are back to deep dive into our geekiness and polish off our practices as we do the stuff of Faith and Geekery. I am Becca and this is...
I'm Tim.
Hello,
How
Tim.
How are you all doing? Hello, Becca. How are you?
Oh, isn't it lovely to be back? How long's it been since we've been gone?
So, Ozzy died, so I think about a month, near enough, like end of July.
My heart went then. My dog's called Ozzy. I was like, what? Hang on, have I completely blocked this out of my memory? No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's use his full name, please.
Yeah. So I think it's been about a month since we've done this. But as you will hear about later, everyone, we've kind of just seen each other so much over the last month anyway. That
we really have. It has been a glorious summer of geeky family overlapping in various ways. So on that note, what geeky things have you been up to? We want to hear about your geekiness. We want to hear any new hobbies you picked up during the lull of the summer months. If you've been lucky enough to have a lull, I've had moments of lull.
What is a lull, precious? What is a lull?
A lull, a low leveling dip that kind of.
What is that?
And now I've said lull so many times.
Lull.
I don't know. It's lost all
Lull.
meaning. Lull. So Tim, tell me, give me your top geeky things, and then we can descend from there. Yeah.
My top geeky things I'm reserving for later because there's obvious reasons why.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So I'm getting into the people that know me know I love spreadsheets. I will do spreadsheets for D&D campaign. I'll do spreadsheets for working out statistics on something that is just random. But recently I had quite a lot of Magic the Gathering cards that are just loose. So I decided to organize them by doing them into a massive spreadsheet, organizing them by type of card, name of them, their coding, if they're a shiny, if they're rare, if there's an alternative artwork. Done that for all of them. And then because the set's quite small, I've worked out which ones I'm missing and done them by code, item, everything. And also then worked out, okay, how much will actually cost me to buy X items if I bought them on the singles market rather than buying them on the like buying the packs separately because the statistics for the packs aren't great. So I'm going to share that spreadsheet with Shelby probably because I've said to Shelby earlier, hey, if you're struggling for Christmas presents, hey, I'd love all these singles that I can just finish my collection and then I've got them all.
And
so
what is that feeling? If you just imagine, 3 months into the future, you've got all the cards, you've opened them up on Christmas Day. What's the feeling of completing that collection?
I have an actual complete set of Magic cards, which I didn't have to spend thousands of pounds to get together. And it's Assassin's Creed. So I love Assassin's Creed. I love the game. It's got me back into Magic, which has got me into Final Fantasy and other things as well. and it's that set of it's nostalgia, it's something new, and I love the artwork on the cards, and it just reminds me of all the games and my memories from that. So it's a whole like instant nostalgia pack in one go.
That's really nice.
What
I have. Well, I don't know why, but I did binge watch various things, and the last thing I've just binge watched was Dexter. Just in time
the old
for
one?
the old one. Was
Yeah.
that finished 2013? And I'd kind of watched it interspersed with lots of other things, but it just got into my system to just watch it almost nonstop because it is fortunately so very, very different from my day-to-day life. And there's some really interesting things about what if I'm not the person that I've been told that I am, that he goes through, and he goes through that kind of transitional, and he never does quite have that full redemption moment. And I'm kind of glad for the sake of, being able to continue being a serial killer. But it was really interesting to find myself rooting for a human being who is doing terrible, terrible things and justifying it for a good cause. So, but I've been doing that simultaneously while playing a phone game called Dark War. It's going against everything that is my character. I have asked my team, is it okay that I'm in Dark War as a pacifist? Because I'm really uncomfortable killing anything. And I just go around clearing the red dots, which is also against my character because I to the despair of many people who know and love me, often have red dots on all of my apps. But in this one app, I cannot tolerate a red dot. If it's telling me to do something, I will do it until that red dot has cleared. So I do quite well in the game.
So I have two things on that. Three things technically. One, fun fact about Dexter.
This is why we keep you around him.
Yeah. The actress who plays Dexter's sister in the original series is actually Michael C. Hall's. They started dating the actor who plays Dexter while doing the series. They then got married and then got divorced.
Oh, that was a roller coaster.
Which changes a lot of the context of multiple episodes.
Interesting.
But also,
did they get divorced while filming it?
Yes. They met, got married, and divorced while filming the whole series.
Oh, painful. Okay.
Have you got to the point when binging where you're like, yeah, no, I'm done. I just need like a proper palate cleanser. Like I've binged 4 seasons of this. I cannot do another episode of this for now. I need to have a break.
Yes, but it was a very, very brief reprieve of watching something else. I've just been introduced to RRR, which is a phenomenal film. Oh my goodness!
Oh yes,
that's it's just it combines
three and a half hours now. I think it runs.
It's a very long film. I've watched I think 2/3 of it, and then the kids had to go to bed, so we had to stop. So I now need to come back to it. But I'm quite happy not having watched a film all the way through, but a series that I haven't completed all the way to the end. Oh no. And just discovered a whole new book series called We Are Legion, We Are Bob. And it's got constant D&D references, Magic the Gathering references, Star Trek and Star Wars, because this guy's a total geek. He's had his brain uploaded as a way of prolonging his life, an experimental thing, and then just keeps recreating himself as this computer program, hence We Are Legion, and then having that whole odd thing of talking to himself, but he's not talking to himself, he's talking to another version of himself that is completely different. It's great.
I need to know more about that. There is another series I've seen that I haven't started yet. It's a graphic novel series. It's called Die, and it's basically about some kids who played a role-playing game and something happened to them as kids, and as they've grown up they've had the trauma of that, and then suddenly they're back in that world as adults, and have to uncover that trauma to survive this new
Sounds
world.
like Jumanji.
It's Jumanji but D&D,
Awesome.
and it's a graphic novel.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll add it into our Discord server of recommended books.
And any other recommendations, summer reading, things that you've got into, absolutely fascinated, share with us either on the chat below or in the Discord channel, which will be shared as a link at the end of the session.
Having said that, should we do some news?
Should we have some news? Yes, please.
Let's have some news, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry, that's
me.
me.
You need to hit the news things.
Oh, wait, hang on.
Do we need to recreate it?
Start that again and I'll do the link. Go.
Hey, should we have some news? This is the Faith in Geekery news, broadcast to your home and around the world. Seamless. Seamless.
Her producer jobs
we are professionals here. Anyway, so we have a lot of news because we've been away for a month, even though we've seen lots of people and done lots of things in the meantime. So the news tonight is going to be a bit of a catch up and stuff. So slide number 1, please, producer Becca.
Sorry, wait.
Oh, it's gone. There we go. So going in order for those who are on podcast and are listening, there is a slide which I might put into the Geeky News channel of Discord later. So there is a new Marvel Comics do a summer event in comics, and this year it's called Imperial, which is basically Marvel comic characters in space doing space war kind of things. So, which is very fun, very amazing. I love it. It's bringing back some old characters, putting old characters with other old characters in new relationships, which I'm really loving to see. We did hear about the sad passing of Terrence Stamp in the middle of the summer and Robert Redford today.
I did not know that. I hate hearing this. No, actually, this is where I hear my news.
Yeah, but that's the thing there. So there's actually a thing I will touch upon later about the idea of actually people finding out while they're live streaming if a celebrity has died, because that normally happens where people post in chats when they're like middle of doing something. But yes, Robert Redford sadly died aged 89. Terrence Stamp was I think 90 something as well. There is also then yesterday, but a few days ago, Nintendo did their Nintendo Direct, which was an hour long, and they revealed so many games that are coming out for the Switch and mainly the Switch 2, including Pokemon Z and A, Marvel Cosmic Invasion, Disney Villains Light Cafe, and my favorite one, which is coming down the line, is they are doing a new Fire Emblem game, which is TTRPG, fantasy, hero, relationship building, sim game.
That's tabletop role play game for those of you that need to work out what the letters stand for.
It's that stuff, but it's in a game. The settings fantasy Roman, and the trailer contains someone who's like from like medieval Europe, like vampire medieval Europe. It's a lovely trailer. I love it. I'm really enticed for the game. And going by some of the chats we had in Discord already, lots of people want to now buy a Switch 2. This will be the reason to get a Switch 2.
There you go. But if you could share the trailer in Discord, that I would be very grateful.
I already have.
Oh,
along with Poketopia, which is Animal Crossing meets Pokemon meets Minecraft, where you play as a Ditto who becomes a human and starts building a little homestead and farm as a Ditto, but you can like replicate the abilities. You can replicate the abilities of Pokemon that come to your farm, so you can have a human with vine arms to help do the farming. It is joyful to look at, and I'm very excited for it. But also, the Emmys happened the other night. Lots of winners. Adolescents won a lot of Emmys. But I'm just putting the photo of the dear Saint Pedro Pascal.
You're welcome, Jenny.
Because, yes, we need to have Pedro in there. Anyway, there's a bit more geeky news.
Are you ready for slide 2?
Slide 2. This is a selfless, shameless one. So Critical Role is about to launch their new campaign 4, on the start of October, and they've been teasing who the characters are and who the players are. They have 12 players in a West Marches style campaign, which is one setting, 3 groups. So they were teasing whom the characters might be, and literally quite late last night they dropped all the artwork for the characters and who's playing them and what the characters' names are. We don't know what class they are, we don't know what race they are, but they're all there, and I love them. Highlights.
I love the artwork for those.
Highlights. Travis Willingham, who also voices 4 in the Marvel Comics TV shows, is basically playing a very buff lion. There's also a Tinkerbell rogue in there as well. There is a wolf with a ghostly paw, but my favorite one is the female dwarf with a beard and the glasses hanging off the edge of the rim of their hat. But yeah, the artworks come out today. We don't know what classes they are, what race they are, anything like that. They're split into 3 different groups. We don't know how that split is working and who's in which group. We know what the groups are called. There's just so much we don't know, but the artwork was very random, very sudden, and we're very excited to see that artwork drop. And the artwork is by Lauren Hontalina and Hannah Fredericks as well.
Nice. Love a collaborative piece of artwork.
Hannah did the artwork for the previous campaign, and Lauren, I think, did some of the artwork for some of the side campaigns as well. So it's really great to see that collab, and also the artwork is always stunning for these characters. But speaking of, we had a summer, haven't we, Becca?
We've had a summer. I'm trying to think what those pictures are.
We went to Greenbelt.
We did go to Greenbelt.
We did Greenbelt, and we did a session at Greenbelt.
We did, and it was a fantastic session. You can't. There's a clipped video where Mark's head is in the middle of it, but that is a tent full of well over 100 people who came to answer the question. Would hobbies save the dinosaurs? The answer is no, unfortunately.
The actual answer, which we did say to everyone, is this is what happens when you give 4 neurodivergent people a deadline of please put your title in, and then we have to then backstitch what we actually.
Well, yes, we had a great exploration of why are we so invested in kind of geeky practice for human flourishing as an exploration of our faith. And our question that came out of that whole creative process was, would hobbies have saved the dinosaurs? And it was beautiful. We had a lot of people that just came in and unmasked. They'd been a largely kind of.
It was I think at least 5,000 people at Greenbelt. There was so many people.
So lots of noise, lots of talking, lots of stimulation, and people came, and we were fairly typically us, and they joined us by being fully them, and there were lots of people that came up afterwards and were really grateful.
Shout out to the child that said their really geeky passion was pi, the number pi, and then said, "Oh, I can recite pi to was it 100 or 200 places," and then did that,
and then did so at the end.
It was astounding and awesome.
And to those creative folks who created in various forms and mediums a T-Rex doing a Rubik's Cube. We also had a variety of other dinosaurs performing other hobbies on the comic. They did, and it was just a really fantastic experience.
Shattered by it. It was a very, very emotionally charged, heavy weekend for all of us, and we loved it. But speaking of hobbies, we also last week put out our first D&D episode.
We did. I love it so much. I love it so much. How many have we recorded? Have we recorded 2 now?
No, we've recorded 5 episodes.
Okay, we recorded 5 episodes. So just to insert it for those that like to know what's happening and when things are happening, our hope is that on every second Tuesday of the month, a D&D episode will go out. If you are of a Methodist persuasion or curious about Methodism, it will allow you to then go to Wholehearted monthly as an online session. They have absolutely fantastic guests and opportunities to kind of engage in kind of bigger conversations about faith practices.
However,
And
if you
it
want
also,
if you want to skip the next one, which is Steve Chalk, and want to watch our second episode,
That's
then
true.
likewise, we'd love to see you at the next second episode.
We would. That's also true.
We would. But yeah, we've recorded 5 episodes so far.
We are.
We're going to be recording some more this weekend, which is also
This
just a
weekend?
reminder. Yeah, this weekend. It's in your diary. This is like the visual reminder of, hey, we are recording this weekend.
Is that not in my diary? Let me just
it should be in
tell
your
Mr.
diary.
Becker that it's this weekend. It's okay. I've got nothing on this weekend.
That's probably it's so we're recording this weekend, which is episode 6 and 7. But yeah, how as someone who's not been in a camp, I'm DMing it. And people have heard me on here talk about DMing and D&D for literally till the cows come home. Becca, as someone who's not been in a long-term D&D campaign, how have you found it so far?
I'm really enjoying getting to know the myself that is Minerva, if that makes any sense. I'm enjoying working out, if I were to put my values first, if I were to put the things that my impulsiveness or my over talkingness, for those that can't see, my hands are waggling all over the place in a very flappy manner, and give it some thought, which an intentional role play game allows you to do. You've got time to think about, how would I respond if I'm driven by X goal or X value? That's really interesting. And then, you're completely thrown by somebody doing something bizarre. And in that moment, I have a choice to give into the impulsiveness or to dip in. And it's kind of that practice of, who do I want to be? Who do I want to be? How do I want to practice this? What tools have I got at my disposal to allow me to explore myself and my motives? And I think, it's one of the reasons that we're doing D&D as faith practice, that the whole point of practice is that it shapes and transforms the choices that you make, the way that you relate to people, the way that you engage. And it feels uncomfortable in a really good way.
I'm so people will not see this for a couple of months, but the end of the last session that we recorded, which was literally the day before we all went to Greenbelt, we did a late night last minute session just to get another one in the bag. And the way we ended that session, we spent another about 45 minutes on the call afterwards as a group, and literally debating all of this stuff, and to the point where we were like, well, should we talk about this in character? And I think that's what we're going to do this weekend recording, is actually like looking at exploring a little bit more in character, because up to this stage, if you've seen the first episode, you should. I'm not going to give you any spoilers because you should go watch it. I'm particularly proud of the way we ended that first episode, because I spent ages hiding it from everyone, including my partner, who is upstairs and did not know I was planning that. But I really like how we're 5 episodes into it recorded. 1 episode that's gone live. Again, like, follow, subscribe. You really should. I really like how you're all kind of just going along with it, and you're only now asking the question, what do we do? Why are we actually doing this together? Because there's the meta narrative of D&D, which is we're all finding a way to be in a group together because we want to be in a group together to play D&D together. There's that meta outside stuff. But in character, you're all asking that question of, why are we actually staying together? And you're all finding a reason why which I
Well,
really
we
like looking at.
stay together because the DM gets really grumpy when you split up.
I haven't been that. I
That's
have.
definitely one reason that we
You
stay
haven't.
together
You
because it makes
haven't.
it very
You haven't split up yet.
No, that's true.
Yet.
And
I'm putting the stress of yet.
It's really interesting. I think D&D sets you up for battle, for combat. There's the way that people's powers can build and strength can build is there's a push, and I think it's really interesting for me who wants to resist pushes within the world that we live towards avarice, greed, confrontation, battle, and wants to figure out what does it feel like to do that authentically while the tools that I use to resist are not the tools that I'm resisting, the aggression.
Yeah, your characters, all the characters have surprised me so far, like based on like our original conversations to how you're actually acting it, which is really just how D&D works. Your character's the interesting one, particularly because of that. You as a person, as a human, I know how you are, and you're trying to do that through a character that's very much not trying to that. Like, if you've seen the first episode, you will know Becca is playing a barbarian, which within a D&D context is very much about combat, fighting, death,
berserker rage. My strength is that when I go into a rage, I've got greater strength, which I recognize that in myself. I can be incredibly articulate and even worse when I'm cross. So when I feel threatened, then the words will tumble out even when I don't want them to do, and to explore what it means when I've got all of this strength through rage, but actually for me the rage is that there's been an injustice, that the world is not as it should be, and there's something that I could be doing, and if I can channel that, the energy that comes with that indignation, that actually the world could be so good, and the world I believe was meant to be good, the world was made for good, then what is my role in seeing that goodness come through, so that I'm not compounding the problem, but I'm actually resisting and offering solution? I mean, that's just exciting to be allowed to do that almost out of body and just be more considered with word and action.
And I'm excited to see where the story's going to go with this, because I have plotted out roughly where I think the story's going to go, and got some key points. And I've roughly, like, when I say roughly, there's like a single sentence for each character, like where I think they're going to end up in 20 episodes time, or by this level. Your one's an interesting one from what I've written, and I don't want to tell people what it is, because I want to see if I'm right. Because I like the way you're all crafting your own stories and going very much opposite to what I think you're going to do already.
Challenge accepted.
Like, where I think your character's going to end up, like by a certain point, is very different to. It's really good. It's going to like crystallize some of the things you've been talking about. But I think that's going to be reflected in who you're interacting with in the world anyway. But you can find out more in the next episode.
Yeah. And I think my hope for a group of people that say these are the values, the practices, the beliefs that we stand on, that in some ways we will interrupt and disrupt the mechanisms of a game built for conflict. If we're playing our bit, not necessarily right, but we're leaning into the faith element and doing that kind of deep delving faith stuff and exploration, then it should disrupt D&D itself.
And
that's a bold statement, but
Shelby will know this. Shelby knows this as well, because we just came back from Scotland, and I was listening to a podcast to help me do some world building for this anyway. Heavily influenced by certain things, and a lot of the factions that you're going to encounter are all embodying some of the extremes of different aspects of faith. But you've already encountered some of them, and I like how you're interacting with them a little bit and kind of using that to question, challenge yourselves based on what they're saying.
Yeah, It's
And
just fun.
Yeah.
And it's the discomfort of, when you're learning a new musical instrument or you're learning a new technique, and it feels awkward if imagine holding a guitar and trying to learn a new chord. Your hand doesn't feel natural in that position until
Yeah.
it does. And I think
Yeah.
that playing around with discomfort as an intentional practice is a really great, healthy thing to do.
I'll end this bit on one bit. So the bit that's most discomfort so far, that embodying what you've just said, is going to appear in the next episode, which is where I suddenly discover that you've set your passive insight to 99. Which
Do I get to have my passive insight back
no,
at 99?
no, you do not get to have your passive insight back to 99. That would mean no one can lie.
Heaviest of sighs.
Like, no. But but then it was at that point, then you kind of went, oh, I don't even have proficiency in insight. And I'm kind of like, I like the idea of your character, who is this insightful, sage-like person, not being proficient in insight, but may have had like.
I have no sense.
You don't, but as your character, you don't. But I like the idea that you have those nudges and you have those moments of like very clear insight into something, and that's spoken into people's lives based on what your character's background is. But we need to talk about that later.
We could actually fill a whole thing about chatting about D&D.
But let's do something else that's fun. Let's do a quiz.
Oh, hang on. Oh, I wasn't on the right page. I was not ready for that. Okay, do you want to do that again? Go.
Hey,
go on.
Let's do something else that's fun. Let's do a quiz.
I got questions. The quiz.
Slick
professional thing here. So we have a quiz, and the Faith and Geekery quiz, as you all know, is 5 questions with 5 answers. Some of them will be multi-choice. But after a year and a half of doing the quizzes, there's now some structure to this format. So there is
gracious.
No, there is one question that it doesn't have a multiple choice answer, but it will give you bonus points, and you'll know it when we get there. So there are 5 questions, 5 answers. One of the questions will give you bonus points. I'll let you know what it is. Right, let's do the quiz. Question number 1. On this day in 1620, a ship departed from England to Virginia, USA. What was the name of that ship?
To Virginia, USA?
Yes, from Plymouth, England to Virginia, USA in 1620. What was the name of the ship? There aren't that many famous ships you can name the names of. This is one of them.
Oh, what was the year?
1620. So you're thinking this is like Cromwell, Puritans, Pilgrims.
Oliver Cromwell, Lord Protector of England and Ireland.
Question number 2. Superhero elsewhere questions. So this is going to be a new ongoing question that's going to appear in every single quiz. There's been so many actors and actresses who have been in superhero movies as superheroes or villains. And they've also acted with each other in other movies. Shock horror, they have jobs. So, I'm going to give you a description of the movie, of their superhero character in that movie. So an example would be Black Adam teams up with Deadpool to stop a thieving Wonder Woman, is the example. So the movie, I'm going to ask you for you to tell me the movie.
So that was the example. What was the answer?
The answer is Red Notice.
Oh,
but then I would give you a bonus point if you could tell me who the actors were. So in that example, it will be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot. The actual question for this one is this: Batman and 2 penguins star alongside a flying elephant at a circus. You get a point if you get the movie. You get bonus points if you can name any of the actors. Batman and two penguins star alongside a flying elephant at a circus.
Oh, the brain power. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question number 3. Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues, was released last week in cinemas. How many years has it been since the original movie, This Is Spinal Tap, was released? A, 41 years, A, 40, B, 41, C, 42, D, 43. How many years between the release of This Is Spinal Tap to Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues? 40, 41, 42, or 43 years?
Okay.
Question
Go.
number 4. According to the survey data from 2023, what is the average price for buying a school uniform for secondary schools in the UK? £402, £422, £442, or £462? What is the average buying price of a school uniform for a secondary school in the UK? £402, £422, £442, and £462.
Okay.
And finally, question number 5. According to the Royal Horticultural Society, which of these vegetables should you not be sowing in September?
Okay.
Turnips, carrots, spinach, winter lettuce. Which of the following vegetables should you not be sowing in September, according to the Royal Horticultural Society? Turnips, carrots, spinach, or winter lettuce?
Okay.
Okay,
I've got some answers.
let's see if you got any of them right. Question number 1. On this day in 1620, a ship departed from Plymouth, England, to Virginia, USA. What was the name of that ship?
I put the Mayflower because that's the only one I could think of. Was it?
It's Flower.
I have, in fact, been on the Mayflower and to the local pilgrim plantation that is still working. It's great.
Well, it was someone
Local
there.
visitors go to them and they ask the pilgrims, "Aren't you glad to be free from King George?" And they say, "No, we are loyal servants of King George." And people get very upset because they feel that the pilgrims were the first pioneers breaking free of England, when in fact they were not.
But it wasn't King George.
King George.
King George was 70.
King.
There was no king. It was Oliver Cromwell, and then it was James Stewart.
I thought it was a king. There was a king. We've not been without a monarchy.
We beheaded a king. There was a time when we didn't have a monarchy. We had a Lord Protector of the Realm. That was Oliver Cromwell.
Oliver Cromwell, Lord Protector of England.
We'll get demonetized. Not that we're getting monetized. Question number 2. Batman and two penguins star alongside a flying elephant at the circus. Do you know the movie, Becca?
Dumbo.
Correct. It's the 2019
Danny DeVito.
Yes, that's 1 bonus point.
I couldn't think of a second penguin.
So the Batman is Michael Keaton. One of the penguins is Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
And the third one is Colin Farrell, who played the penguin in the recent Batman movie with Robert Pattinson.
Which I have not seen. That would be why. Okay.
But the answer was Dumbo. So you get a point for that. And a point
that's
for Danny
3
DeVito.
points out of many
2 questions.
So far.
Question number 3. Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues, was released last week in cinemas. How many years has it been since the original movie, This Is Spinal Tap, was released?
I put 40 because any of the others would be unacceptable in terms of being odd numbers.
41 years.
Weirdly, I did write 41 and then I crossed it out because I found that unacceptable.
If they released it when they originally wanted to release it,
it would have been 40.
Yes, but they released it later, so it's 41. According to survey data from 2023, what's the average price of buying a school uniform for secondary schools in the UK?
I put 442.
Correct.
This is a very, very excellent quiz round for Becca.
Question number 5. As a keen horticulturalist, Becca, which of these vegetables should you not be sowing in September?
I think it's carrots, unless it's winter lettuce. Is it
You're
carrots?
correct. It's carrots.
Excellent round. If I trusted my gut, I'd have got a full answer.
I think you got a full set.
Well, no, because I changed my 41 to 40 because I found 41 unacceptable.
But you also got the bonus point from Dave.
I did also get a bonus point.
So,
excellent
yeah,
round. Very pleased with myself.
Let us know. Are you happy with the quiz and the way it's going to go going forward?
Based on the fact that one, I quite like Batman, so I remember Batman, but also I like Dumbo, so anything Dumbo is fun. I don't know that I will always score as highly on your superheroes in other movies.
Well, you never know. But there you go. Let us know in the comments and let us know what you got, how you got.
You have been listening to the quiz.
I got questions. The quiz.
Hey, Beck, we have 19 minutes left of this 1 hour show that we do.
Excellent. Well, I think we're about right. So we will go into, I mean, this is a back to school session. We have not got a guest lined up today. So our theme is Tim and I musing on the beginning of a new school year.
Much like we mused on the end of a school year.
Much like we
just
did.
Less more.
And there's a huge amount of nostalgia. I think the beginning of school holds a lot of memories. It's got a change of season. You've got a lot of new things to hang your new memories onto. So I think, for me, this is quite a lovely new clean slate. It doesn't work the same as a grown up where your job's just kind of rolled in, carrying on, and you picked up all the things that you were supposed to be doing. But there is that season of transition, and I feel that most with autumn, that we've moved into rainier, colder, shorter days. So as I was thinking about how does this fit in terms of geekiness and faithiness, that's not a word, it is now. It is now. What things tide you over during periods of transition? What do you find yourself picking up or putting down in order to ride the wave of that? And again, it's that discomfort, isn't it? Is that something new has come, something new is coming. The person I am is moving into that space. What helps you get there? And the second question of that is, what kind of either spiritual practices or values do you hook onto that allow you to, as you're moving, to choose your direction rather than just be rolled and tumbled over in the roller coaster that is change and transition?
I mean, one of the practical ones is I'm currently writing my PDR for work, which are my for those that don't know, my yearly objectives I have to set for myself and meet for this year. So that is a very practical sense of it is a new year. Here are my targets for the next year, and what am I going to do to make efforts to achieving them over this coming year? So that's the really practical bit. And within that, because of my day job, a lot of it is based on inherent values of the organization, aspirational targets of the Methodist Church. There's a lot of that tied into it. So there's a lot of that. Where I'm at, if I try to remove my work brain from things, is I feel like, like you just said, like as an adult, we don't really have those. We have the new year, but within a faith-based context, we don't really have a separate point as adults, or even like as young adults, or even as children, to recognize those periods of transition and change. Like the Methodist Church, like if you're a presbyter, you have the August of moving, And so we have the farewell services and welcome services. So that's very literal transition and change, and all that entails. For you got young people going off to university, so you got that period of transition and change from being a child in a system that they have been in that system for, I don't know, 14 years now, 12, 13 years, 13 years, that they're suddenly now out of that system and are now told you're an adult, go do this, but are still young children.
Brain still developing until they're 25.
Fun geeky fact on this: hobbits do not consider people to be adults until they're 33.
I definitely would say that about myself, that I did not adult until.
Also,
33.
it's Bilbo and Frodo's birthday on Monday.
Oh, we should
share
have a
birthday.
party.
We should bring Tim Baker along, because I know he loves all things hobbity. We'll do that on Saturday. Anyway, so there's that period of transition for, like, if you're going to university, if you're going to sixth form, going to do your GCSE, there's that transition in that. And that will, growing up, like, the church recognized that with the let's give young people books because they've been in the church for a year, and you remember the church, and we'll give you a book, Christian book, normally. And for some of those going off to university, you got like a prayer diary or a bit more of a book to help you with your journey at university. There was that, but we don't really have that. Like within a Methodist context, we have Covenant Sunday, which is also in January, so that's tying into the new calendar year rather than the academic year or the harvest or the agricultural year. There's all that. So I find it weird that we don't have that as adults, and trying to kind of create that newness and create those times of transition to with us doing us, I think for us, we as a core team it's reflected opening, why not, as a core team, we've already September, we're doing lots of new things, or we're going to try things as a way of, it's not the start of a new season, it's the start of a new year, and we're going to try things as a way of, hey, we're recognizing this is a point transition and change for us.
The D&D episodes are one of those trying. Does this work to have something that isn't a podcast as a means of gathering points, talking points in order to, and it's just moments in our Faith and Geekery community to hook the gathering onto, rather than, because this isn't the community. It's just a hook in the in the wider family of it.
I mean, we were chatting last week a little bit. Where we kind of were reflecting a bit on what we do as a core team and the community and where we see Faith and Geekery going. And we were reflecting that. I think that's based on, hey, we recognize we're coming up September and there's lots of newness in that, in a time of transition and change. And what does that mean for us? But also, we've had a hecking summer. And within that, we've been around each other quite a lot, and we got to have quite a lot of great conversations. And also fun times. Fun times were had. Emotional times were had. Also very nighttime times had, because we were in fields camping, which is true. I realized I need an airbed when I'm camping now. I'm not in an age where I can just sleep.
Although you're still a child.
Although I'm still a child,
according to Hobbit,
but unfortunately I do not have a Hobbit body to reflect that. But it's that kind of, we've recognized there's lots of things that we've been thinking about and changing and transitioning now. And that's got a bit of practical stuff within that anyway. But there's also the undertones of, as we're around each other more and having conversations with people more, we're kind of crystallizing and understanding our spirituality a little bit more. So the conversation we had last week, the one of the ongoing conversations, we mentioned this at Greenbelt, is ostensibly this is we see this as a faith-based community, as a new way of doing church, but not as it's a new church, because it's not that. It's actually a way, how can we explore spirituality and geekiness in a way that is really authentic to us, because we just see that as we can't separate the two. But even within a core team, we come from very different perspectives on this. And I think as we've been around
and
each
still
other,
are doing in many ways, aren't we?
And that, I think, is a massive season of transition, that we're still having those conversations, but we're building the plane as we're flying. And I think theology and spirituality at its core is we're always doing that. We're always building as we're flying. And we have to do that in community, because like we can sit at home and spend chat about it, and then spend 9 days internally reflecting about it, and then not go anywhere. But because we've had so many conversations with people throughout the last couple of weeks in particular, that's just sparking more conversations, just sparking more ideas, just sparking more reflection, and that just keeps tumbling and tumbling and going and going. But we know it's going somewhere good.
And there is something in that, in that seasonal cycle, that there's times of the year to celebrate and pause. There's times for the lull. There's times for the assessment. And I think I still miss the rhythms of the school year as an adult. I miss the 2-week holidays every 8 weeks. I miss the 1-week holiday every 4 weeks. I don't think that's actually true. Every 8 weeks, every 16 weeks. That gives you time to start your new book, to start your new diary, to start that each time you have a little reset and a little pause and a little assessment of, if this is where I'm supposed to be, and where I'm supposed to be is loving, joyful, kind, considerate, slow to anger, peaceful, gentle. That's the destination, is to become a deeply loving, kind, wise human being. Then there needs to be moments within my annual cycle of being where I go, well, am I still on the right path towards my becoming?
One of the things I've been thinking about is we have to start looking at primary schools for the child. Yeah, I know, for the child, and that is terrifying for me, because I'm like, no, I'm not ready to face that. But also part of me is going,
homeschooling instead, Tim.
I'm not sure my job will allow me to do that. But there's that. I part of me is kind of looking forward to that, because then I'll be able to piggyback on the school cycle a little bit, so I could intentionally add that rhythm and cycle to my actual day job. Whereas right now everything just blurs together into one, and I kind of look back and realize I didn't really have a rest until we went to Scotland for a week. And I took a week off work. I took a week at the start of the Methodist year off, intentionally, to just have that break and know that within all the chaos of that first week, all the challenges changed and everything, I would not be around for that. I could spend a week just resetting somewhere. And I really enjoyed it. But I had to put that intentional reset in. And now I'm looking ahead to when my next reset is. And I think my next reset is Thanksgiving. Because I'm not counting Christmas as a reset.
No, it's a different period of time, isn't it? And that's okay. It's just, if you know that you need that in your cycles of living, I know that I need some kind of retreat. I need to go somewhere, preferably naturey, where there are people being intentional in where am I on my journey. And when I don't, I become mentally dry. I think that's where my head is at the moment. I'm mentally dry.
I did see something like that I wanted to go on, but timing didn't work out. But I did see one, and I will send you the information for it, because I think it would be brilliant for you.
Yeah.
but also I kind of want to go on it as well.
I think it's a when you've been away for ages and it's been really lovely to be away and it's been really it's been nice to reset, but you get that deep soul homesickness. Yeah, and it's kind of knowing yourself when you're just not quite where you belong.
I mean, we've done a physical shifting around of stuff. Literally before this went live, I just moved a desk upstairs and lots of stuff because we kind of went physically. Okay, we want to change something to disrupt something because we feel this might work better. So we've moved Shelby's desk upstairs and shifted everything upstairs as much as we can. Which, neurodivergent. Let's do that last minute while we're thinking about it. So that's all done. But that's part of our this is the physical thing that we need to do as part of that cycle, that reset. Like we don't know, everyone, the spring clean. I think I used to hate the idea of spring cleaning growing up, but now I'm a non-adult. I kind of like the idea of, there's that I can go out. Like it's like,
how can I make this into a spreadsheet?
How can I make this into a spreadsheet? Or enjoying the conversations around, hey, we've just got a washer dryer fixed, and it is. I know. I'm at that. I like that. I'm at that stage where I'm like, I can have those conversations around the really mundane things and get so much joy out of it.
And I think, but joy is a practice. That's something our brains are geared in order for our survival to be looking for the dangers and the things to be scared of. That's what we're wired for. So anything to do with joy, where we pause in our awareness of how dangerous the world can be, is intentional practice. We have to keep practicing celebrating the washer dryer fixed moments, because that's what makes it worth surviving in the first place.
Do you know what one of the things at Greenbelt I really enjoyed?
What?
Which was like the joy moment, finding that fried chicken place. There's a fried chicken place with
Sri
fries.
Lankan. No, Goan fish curry.
Oh, that was a nice
It's one of my pilgrimage moments each year. Okay, we've got 3 minutes to wrap this up. If you had a wisdom to share, if we not and this isn't positioning ourselves as particularly wise people, but people that as we are journeying together into a new year, we've got our brand new diary planners because we are geared by the academic year rather than the
I did buy a calendar for that reason. Unfortunately, they sent me a calendar year, not an academic calendar.
Oh, the pain.
So I know.
What wisdom would you want us to pack into our spiritual suitcases?
One thing is the art of saying no and not feeling guilty.
No was a superpower.
Saying no and then
faithy.
Saying no and not feeling guilty about it.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm at a stage now where if I'm saying no to something, it's because I'm recognizing my own well-being and self-care within that. But also with my job, like if I say no to something, it means I can actually say a very hearty yes to something else. Even if and especially if that hearty yes is actually I want to spend an evening with my family, or I don't particularly want to spend an entire day traveling somewhere when I can actually spend a day having a really great conversation with someone. What about your wisdom?
I always love a moment to quote Brené Brown, and she would say that the most compassionate people are people with boundaries, people able to say no. It is not to do with deep spiritual practice and retreat. It is being able to say no, because if you are doing something and you're resenting it, it is very, very hard to be compassionate. And that's not the type of person you want to show up in the world in. So I think off the back of that, then it's like as we're doing in D&D, and we will talk about it more, know who you are. Really dig deep into knowing who you are. Do it uncomfortably, like you're learning a new guitar chord. Figure out who that is and what your values are, so that when your feet start to walk, you're going in the direction of your choice rather than shaped by whatever else is around you.
And if you want to see what that practically looks like, that'll be on D&D in about 5 episodes time.
It will. We've got one coming up. Look at that.
Have been listening. I did a course on how to say no. Yes, I would.
Thank you, Robert.
Yes, I like how to say no.
Yeah,
I
how
think,
to
like,
say no and to
I
do
think-
it without shame.
And I think in a faith-based culture, saying no to something is really difficult.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of guilt attached to saying no in a faith-based culture. But
Yes.
actually, you know, even Jesus said no to something, and it turned out all right.
Amen. And on that note, you have been listening to Faith and Geekery. You have been ever so welcome. Do join us on Discord. Until next time, geek well.
Bye.